Testing, hot outbound call, 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to hear it?
Are you ready?
Make the approach. Plant your feet firmly in the ground. Head down. Eyes on the ball. Relax. That's it. Get your left arm straight. Your right arm straight. Relax. Lower your right shoulder. Go!
The Honeymooners Podcast, the only podcast that is all about the greatest show of all time, with the stars, Joe Conti and Louis Fatts.
Welcome, fellow raccoons and members of the Women's Auxiliary. What's happening, all you Hurricanes, Bensonhurst Bombers, and all you Ernesto de Quisas of the world? You're listening to the Honeymooners Podcast with me, Joe Conti, and my pal Louis Fatts.
Well, from now on, let's see if you can possibly avoid playing kowtow to your whimsy.
The only discussion-based podcast, all about the greatest show of all time. We record in the Non-Productive Studios at 328 Chauncey Street. Sorry, my phone's ringing. At 328 Chauncey Street in Brooklyn, USA. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and leave a positive review. And if you don't listen on iTunes or podcast, you can listen on our home base, which is the Non-Productive site. That's non-productive.com/honeymooners. And don't forget to like our Honeymooners Podcast Facebook page and our Twitter. Yeah. What's going on, Lou?
Joe, number 51.
That's right, number 51.
I can't believe I've driven to Clifton, New Jersey 51 times. So,
yes. I think even people that live
really
here
don't even want to
are
drive
like,
here.
yeah, they don't even want to drive here that many times.
So our 51s, we have
Yes.
the big unit and Ichiro, but
Oh, that's Randy Johnson and Ichiro Suzuki, right.
But there's only one 51.
And emphasis on but.
But.
Yeah.
And it's also my favorite football player of all time, Dick Butkus.
Yeah. Amazing.
And if you guys never seen Dick Butkus, go on YouTube and watch him.
Yeah. Yeah. He makes Lawrence Taylor look like a really swell guy when he's playing. Like a very polite, gentle, excuse me, sir, I didn't mean to tap you. Like he's playing two-hand touch.
Like George in the pool room.
Yeah. I'm saying Lawrence Taylor is a Hall of Famer, amazing, but Butkus was an animal. He was an animal.
It was unbelievable.
Animal.
Unbelievable.
I'm so glad that he actually ended up with a good acting career. He got some stuff.
Yeah.
Because they didn't make the money that these guys make today.
Not at all. Especially football players back then.
No.
Not at all.
My friend's dad played for the Jets when they were the Titans.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he thought they all worked regular jobs.
Yeah, they had to.
When they were tailors and this and that. They had to.
They worked off season too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Dick Butkus.
Dick Butkus from the Bears.
From the Bears.
I don't even think he ever played a playoff game. I mean, they were terrible back then.
They were awful.
Yeah.
They were awful. So for all our Chicago guys out there, Bibbs and Gary and Norm.
All you guys.
A
little bit of Chicago.
2 Bears in a row. We had Singletary last week.
Oh, that's right. Singletary. Yeah, absolutely.
That's it for the Bears. Until we get to Ditka.
Yes. Yes, of course.
So 89, Mike Ditka?
Ditka was 89. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right? When was he on? He was on. Was he on the Colts?
I remember him on the Eagles, I believe.
Was he on the Eagles?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
I know that.
Did he play for the
Bears? He was a tight end. Yeah, maybe he was a Bear. I forgot.
Play for both of them.
But he was a tight end.
Yeah, definitely tight end. What are we going to do after the Mark Gastineau?
I know we're gonna.
Who wears 100?
I know nobody. We have number 100, or we have to find somebody who wore 10 and another guy wore 10.
Somebody from the Boston Marathon with the bib on with 100 on it.
Yes. Well, before we get started, we want to definitely talk about our sponsor.
Yes.
Our pal, the great Kingfish Levinsky. Jeff Kingfish Levinsky, Silk City Hot Sauce. Here's the deal. You go to silkcityhotsauce.com and enter RX in the coupon code and at the checkout and save yourself 15%. They also throw in a free bottle of cherry sriracha. All right? You support the show. Treat yourself to some delicious homemade, handmade hot sauce.
Can't hurt you, pal.
Can't hurt you, pal.
Gotta say it.
And they got all different great hot sauces. Mm-hmm. I like the Chipotle Chipotle.
Can't say it.
Chipotle.
Okay, there
yeah,
you
the
go.
Chipotle.
Now I feel better.
Yes.
I actually had the Chipotle this weekend.
Did you?
The Bobby Biggs, I think it's called, or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
had
which
it.
is
Yeah.
a show that sponsors him.
Yeah.
So we named. Maybe
Yeah.
he'll do a Honeymooners podcast version.
Chipotle.
Chipotle, exactly. So you put RX in the coupon code to get yourself 15%. And listen, he's a raccoon.
Oh, yeah.
He's a listener, a pal. His old man was in Ralph, one of the original members of Ralph.
Right.
How do you not support this guy?
That's right.
He's a Jersey guy that somehow migrated to Vermont.
Yeah.
I guess he took that 5-hour
Yeah.
road trip, or he probably followed
Probably
Uncle Leo.
Uncle Leo. Up
He
the
followed
thruway.
Uncle Leo, right?
Uncle Leo made a left, and he made a right. And he wound up in Vermont, and Uncle Leo wound up in Utica.
Yes. But number 51 of the Honeymooners podcast. All right. So what we want to do is start off with, listen, this is something that a lot of people, especially in the groups, they've all touched upon. They've seen it. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. And it is the list of bad perns and good perns.
Yep.
And, of course, this is from Young Man with a Horn.
Young Man with a Horn.
Which gets a lot of flack for being one of the most disliked episodes.
Yeah,
Which I don't understand that, because it's a good episode. Mm-hmm. It's actually a little heartfelt. And you know what's interesting? I just thought of it because I was watching it the other day. Go figure. What else am I going to do?
Why would you be watching
it? You know what it instills? It instills positive thinking.
Yeah.
Because he basically, August Gunther basically said, look, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but I manifested. I said, I'm going to be a success, and I became a success.
And he also said, right here in this room.
Right here in this room.
There you go.
Yes.
That's key.
And he never made another mistake.
Never made one more mistake.
Well, yeah. So, and of course, in the episode, they list all of his good points, and he could enhance his good points.
And he had and he had a trophy wife.
Yeah. As my friend used to say, the guy had a trophy wife. She was in last place, but it was a trophy wife. Okay.
Participation.
So we wanted to go through. There are 22 bad points, and there are 5 good points. We'll just go through the good points real quick.
Yeah,
because
there's only 5.
There's nothing interesting. There's nothing interesting
there,
about it. Actually, a little bit. His good points are, of course, it was supposed to be the sweetest guy in the world,
Right.
but it's not listed on there.
No, because these are what Ralph wrote down about himself.
Exactly. I wonder if this is his handwriting. It might be.
Could be.
Yeah. Good points. Number 1, loves wife. Number 2, admits mistakes. Number 3, does he admit mistakes?
I know. I was thinking about that.
I just thought about that. Wait a minute. He doesn't admit mistakes. No. Number 3, soft-hearted. Yes.
Yeah.
Number 4, has good intentions. I agree.
His intentions are good.
It never turns out like
that way, or the way of going about them.
And number 5, which is funny, basically honest when pinned down.
When pinned down.
It's funny.
Yeah. He's got to be pinned down to be honest.
Yes, exactly. Now, bad perns. Number 1. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
All of the 22 bad points, good points, they wrote up this thing and put it on the wall.
Yeah.
And they only really used snores, oversleeping, and
treats wife like
racehorse. I'm thinking of you. Treats wife like workhorse.
I bet on Alice.
And yes, she placed.
She placed.
And argues too much. But they wrote out 22 of them.
Yeah.
And think about it. They put it on the wall, and when the scene starts, you see it, which is where you can now pause it, take a picture, which is what we did, and a bunch of other people have. And to think about it, they wrote this whole thing up. They didn't need to.
No.
And so 65 years later, us and people on the internet can sit there and point all this stuff out.
Because just think about it. They zoomed in with the camera, and then they drew the camera back.
Right.
There's no time for anyone watching on TV,
live
TV,
to
actually read what is on this list.
Right. Exactly.
So
they're not thinking 65 years
Yeah.
later, you're going to have, first of all, they weren't thinking you're going to even pause it.
Yeah.
There's no thought. There's no way they're thinking, well, in years they'll be able to pause it and stop. And they didn't think that people are going to watch it more than the one time.
They could have wrote anything they wanted on it. They could have wrote their shopping list on there.
Exactly.
Carrots and celery and
exactly.
scuttle and soup and salad. They could have
Cranmar's delicious mystery
appetizer.
Delicious mystery.
appetizer. So I'm saying, they actually took time.
And they took time
to write
actual things.
Faults.
And it's actually quite humorous. So let's go to the bad pernts.
Go bad pernts.
Number 1, late for work, because she said that.
Yeah.
And number 2, oversleeping, which was
is tied into late
for work,
Yeah.
right? And number 3 kind of tied into snores.
Snores, okay.
Right? Which is kind of mean-spirited because he probably had sleep apnea.
Yeah, really. Yeah, being like 800 pounds.
Yes, and he probably didn't have a CPAP machine at the time.
Yeah.
Number 4,
William
losing
Shatner having to guide him through it.
Number 4, losing temper, which
happens
that's called the premise of almost every episode.
Yeah.
Number 5, oh, you know what? Don't pay debts.
Norton got him on that one.
Got him on that one. So that was another one.
Would work.
Number 5, don't pay debts. Not doesn't pay debts. Don't pay debts. Number 6, too fat. Okay. Number 7, brags. Because the one episode where I'm never going to brag.
Yeah, he
again.
does brag. Yeah, he does.
Right,
he
of
does.
course. Number 8, connives.
He's a conniver. He connives Norton.
Yeah.
He connives his best friend.
Yeah, his best friend.
$20. He got $20.
$20. 30% of nothing is nothing.
Yeah.
Number 9, daydreams. I have to agree. He's a bit of a dreamer.
Yeah, he's a dreamer.
He's a dreamer.
Ralph is a dreamer. No.
Gleason always said he was an absolute dreamer.
Yeah.
And but he never got his dreams. Number 10, shirks responsibility.
Love that word.
Shirks, yes, and that's 100%.
Yeah.
Number 11, stubborn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree with that. Number 12, too fat.
Too fat. Yeah,
Again.
that shows up several times.
Number 13, overeats.
Well,
which goes along with being too fat. Number 14, neglects wife.
He does.
I think so. Because think about it.
Yeah, he could.
The Raccoon Lodge,
Yeah,
bowling, pool.
pool.
She sits home all the time by herself.
Yeah.
Neglects wife.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Number 15, spends foolishly.
Oh, yeah, we know that.
Absolutely.
Never has money.
Think about this.
Yeah.
This is like
Yeah.
they wrote this out.
Yeah, they wrote this out.
Is
They actually
they
thought
thought
this
about
out.
this.
They
Absolutely.
thought this out and wrote it down
And
for
wrote it
nobody
out.
to see.
For nobody to see.
But us two idiots. 65
Yeah.
years later.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And they were right.
Yeah.
I mean, Grant, they threw in a couple of gags about being too fat.
and,
a couple of
times.
three times. Right. Spends foolishly, number 15.
Yeah, well, that's
number 16, gullible.
He is gullible.
I would think
Well,
so.
you figured that the 2,000 things that he from the warehouse.
Yes.
The iron. He went and bought an iron off the
bought
guy.
an iron. Right. Yes. It's not like a major character flaw in the 39 episodes. No. But if you said, is he flaw? Is he gullible? You'd be like, yeah,
he is gullible.
He's pretty gullible. Absolutely. Hold on, I'm just making sure something here. Yep. Number 17, sloppy dresser. Now, I think that I don't think he was.
I don't think so.
You know what it is? Gleason himself was
he was
never
impeccable.
For
dresser.
being a heavy guy, all that, but he was always impeccable. And even in the show,
impeccably dressed.
He was always, when he had his suit, he looked good. His work uniform
was
looked good.
always neat.
Always neat.
And he's basically what we see him with.
Absolutely.
You only see him in that.
So,
maybe a robe and the pajamas one time, but for the most part,
absolutely. He was not a sloppy dresser. Yeah. But look, that goes along with the character that would be a heavy guy that spends money, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It would be, it makes sense that he would be a sloppy dresser, even though Gleason himself wouldn't allow himself to.
Oh, God, no. He was like
not in that character.
Impeccably.
Yes, absolutely.
Carnations in his suit and the whole bit.
Absolutely. Number 18, treats wife like workhorse. which
Yeah.
they mention.
They mention, yeah.
And 100%.
Yeah.
You know, do I have to do everything
Anything
around here?
I love that. I love that
do
line.
Nothing.
You do nothing, Alice. Plus, I do everything around here. You do nothing around here. Where'd that come from? Just because you're trying to thread a needle?
Number 19, generally untidy. See, that goes along with sloppy dresser, which he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. Unless the only time is when Alice left him for those couple of days,
true.
and the house just went.
Yeah.
To
all of a sudden,
pot.
there were 13 dishes in the sink.
He was
like he couldn't just clean 2 dishes
they only
each
have
day.
2, maybe 4 when Trixie and Ed come down. But
yeah, exactly. And let's see. That's number 19. Number 20, again, too fat.
Too fat. There we
which
go.
is, it's like they were having fun with themselves here. And then 21, talks too much.
Yeah, that's
which
definitely. He does talk.
I guess
he
does,
his
character.
Hey, Ralph, you're blowing your own horn again.
Right. Yeah. And then number 22, argues too much, which was part of the
thing
episode
that
with
he
the arguments.
Like you said, he knows it's number 22, but he doesn't know what number 22 is.
Right. What he should have said was, he goes, it was which one today?
I fixed a fault today.
I fixed a fault today. Which one? Argues too much. It's number 22.
He said it the other way around.
He said number 22. What is it that I just did
then he had to
today?
go to the list and look at it.
What did I do today? Oh, yeah, I argued too much.
No, but he had to go to the list.
He had to go to the list.
Where number 22 was.
To see what he did for the day. Wait, what was the thing I was doing with the 7 million? Yeah, exactly. So those are it. That is the list, the bad points and good points. But I just love the fact that they just put that on.
I just like the fact that they actually took time and did this list that is pertinent. It's a pertinent list that nobody saw.
Yes, except for obviously
us and some other nuts on raccoon sites and Honeymooners sites. And
yeah, exactly. All right. Now, we want to get into our next clip, or next bit, actually, and that is... Dun-da-da-da.
And now, the Honeymooners podcast presents
It's not in the top hand drawer.
the flub of the week.
It's almost like it's not quite the full episode without top hand dress pant drawer. It just makes the episode
because it's fresh.
Yes, it's fresh. All right, now this is a flub that I noticed, and it's a flub by only one letter. There's only one letter that's missing.
Yes,
that makes this kind of humorous. Actually,
really,
it's quite humorous of a flub.
When Joe found it, like, you're right.
And it's nothing. It's nothing grandiose.
No,
it's nothing like ridiculous.
No,
it's just he didn't put one letter at the end of a
the
word that makes it completely different. And here it is, flub of the week, everybody.
Very simple. The first thing I got to do is get some financial backing. Now, tomorrow when I go to work, I walk right into Mr. Marshall.
Mr. Marshall, the president of your bus company?
Why, certainly. He's a swell guy.
All right. Did you catch it, people?
Yeah.
Did you catch it? I'll play it again, and it's Ralph. It's Ralph who does the flub, if you want to know. And we'll play it one more time. Here we go.
Very simple. The first thing I got to do is get some financial backing. Now, tomorrow when I go to work, I walk right into Mr. Marshall.
Mr. Marshall, the president of your bus company?
Why, sir?
Okay. I think if you don't know, he says, tomorrow morning, I walk right into Mr. Marshall. Not I walk into Mr. Marshall's office
or
not Mr. Marshall's. It's tomorrow I walk right into Mr. Marshall. And then after Mr. Marshall goes to the hospital.
Being 300 pounds and I just roll him over.
And especially because he's this, big personality guy, so he would come barreling into his office. But, so he says, tomorrow morning I walk right into Mr. Marshall. Which is, like I said, it's not this weird flub. And if you don't look for it, you don't even notice it.
No, you won't.
But, of course, we're mentally ill.
Yeah, because,
and we have to look for it.
Flubs, so.
We're running out of. Yeah, we're going to be doing repeats at one point.
We are. We'd have to.
Yeah, and we'll have more fun with
We're
it.
going to call it the vault.
Yes.
Flub vault. We're
Yes.
gonna, have the creaky door vault thing going.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We have to do that.
That's a great idea. The flub vault. The flub vault. Yes. Okay, well, that's our flub of the week. And I love it because I just conjure him barreling and knocking Mr. Marshall right into 1049 Park Ave. What was this?
1149.
1149. 1049.
You walked him into the acapulco house.
Walked right into Felix.
Just wipe your feet.
All right. So now we want to get into our next bit, which is, look, to me, it is the heart and soul of this podcast, and that is
Night All.
And now, from the observation deck overlooking the Johnson Building at 328 Chauncey Street, the Honeymooners podcast presents Louie's Observations.
And this is, I would call it a doozy.
Yeah, this
is a doozy
it's a
of
long one too.
Yeah, this is a doozy of an observation. Strap in, get yourself a cup of coffee. This one's going to take a while, but worth every minute.
Small cup of black coffee. Demi-tasse.
Either a demi-tasse or just a black cup of coffee.
Small cup of black coffee. All right, here's the observation. Now, me and Joe were talking about this before the show.
Right.
Originally, we were going to do this as a different bit.
Right.
We were just going to call it a timeline from Pride.
Oh, God. And they all do it now. All the listeners do that. They're like, hey, I was listening to Wart the other day. I'm like, oh, God. You guys.
So here's the deal.
Okay.
We have follow us here on this. You're going to have to follow us on this, right, Joe? This is
Yes. Get your protractors
Get your protractors out, your compasses, and your Galileo hat, and figure out something here. Look like Copernicus. Okay, it's a timeline observation.
Right.
Tied in with another observation. Okay, so we're going to start with the timeline.
Right, and this is from A Man's Pride.
A Man's
obviously.
Pride.
Right.
Okay, now, what's the first thing, Joe? They're at the fights.
Correct.
When they meet, okay, at
Yes.
Madison Square Garden. Yeah. Norton has access to Madison Square Garden with no problem.
Yeah, they're middle Manhattan, and nobody's walking around.
Bill
by the way.
Davis, yeah. Like Manhattan. Ooh, just drop.
It must have been this town called Manhattan in Kansas.
There we go. Yeah,
there you go.
Unplug myself.
Oh, you unplug your own.
A new show. Honeymooners
So now-
Honeymooners podcast unplugged.
Unplugged,
Okay.
yes.
Sounded
yes.
better with nothing going on.
Yeah, no clips.
So basically now they're at the fights. Bill Davis comes into town and goes to the fights at Madison Square Garden.
Correct.
Why? We don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
This assistant plumber is going to go to the fights.
Fights. Yeah,
by
okay.
himself.
All right. Now, after what happens, Joe? Bill Davis is trying to get to the bus company to see Ralph's operation.
Correct.
Because he runs things. Okay. So now.
Arf.
Okay, so now, all right. So we got to keep this. Now we got to keep this going here on the timeline.
Correct.
Right? Okay. So now, Joe, we have Ralph telling Bill, "No, I'll come stop by and blah 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 blah."
Right, because Bill Davis says that he's this and that, and Ralph says he's part of that. So come to Gotham Bus Company.
I want to see your operation.
I want to see your operation.
Right. He goes, "You're the boss." I'm hoping. So Ralph says, "No, come at 6:30 because at 6 o'clock they're all out of there."
Right.
According to Ralph, everybody just takes off at 6:30, 6 o'clock. So he tells them,
they're gone.
Boom, exactly. Boom, they're gone. So 6:30. Now they're 6:30.
So this is the next day, right? It's the next day.
We're still at the fights when he's
Still
telling
at the
them.
fights, right?
Okay, so now we're going to go to the next day.
Correct.
Okay, so now Bill Davis shows up.
Yep.
And Ralph tells Norton to wear a suit. I'll wear a suit. That's
Right.
important for
Yeah, of course.
for the next second.
Very important. Remember that, kids.
Remember that.
The suit.
The suit. This is important.
This is all about the suit.
Okay, so now the next day, Bill Davis comes to the bus company at
6:30 p.m.
p.m.
Correct.
Now it's in Manhattan,
Yep.
9th and 48th. Okay, that's important too.
Oh, it's gonna get ugly.
All right, here we go. Now
The wheels are falling
wheels are
off.
falling off. We've lost all ears right here. Go back to the list. Too fat. And so now Bill Davis calls Trixie because Norton gives him the number. Trixie,
Right.
the maid, is always there.
Right, because he was already there.
Yes.
And they left, and then apparently Bill Davis went right to a phone booth.
Yeah.
And decided to call Alice.
Yeah, I'll call
because
Alice,
he's so he's so interested in getting together with them.
Yeah, he wants to see them. So now, Alice gets the call. This is still the same day now.
Yeah, this is what 8 o'clock, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, by the time Ralph and Ed get back from Manhattan,
right,
into Brooklyn. Okay.
Yes.
Now, Bill Davis says they're going to have dinner at the Colonnade Room at 9:30.
Correct.
Okay, so they push it to 9:30 to give a good little time
Absolutely.
line there, so
right.
they can get
so
all
it's
this.
At least believable.
Yes, we get all this together. Okay, now. Here's the second part of the observation. We have a wardrobe problem.
Yeah, this is a honeymooners wardrobe malfunction here. Yes.
Pat Perkins was sweating his brains out. He's like,
I always thought Pat Perkins was a girl.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
We don't know.
Anyway, yeah, whatever.
So, like, what are they doing? All right, so now Ralph tells Norton to wear a suit because he's going to station him downstairs to bring him up. Ralph says,
correct.
I'll wear a suit.
I'll wear a
you
suit.
Put a suit on,
You
too.
put a suit on, too.
Okay, now Ralph comes home from work.
The same
day.
2 hours later.
2 hours later, whenever
right,
they got
right,
home.
Right.
Whenever they got home, we'll say 8:30-ish.
Right.
9, okay,
Sounds
say
good.
8:30-ish. Okay? He's wearing his bus driver's uniform. What happened to the suit?
What happened to the suit?
Because that night, they go to the Colonnade Room, and he's wearing the same suit.
He's got the suit back on. Yes. All right, listen, hey, Jealous McGarity, listen, I need you to hold this suit. I can't let Alice know that I took the suit out.
So what did he do with this suit? Put it in his lunchbox?
I'm not leaving his house until he takes that coat off.
The suit had to be in his lunchbox. Like, where did it go?
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, they put that whole Pierre Francois de la
Briosky thing in that little box. Yeah.
Right. So he goes to work, then gets the suit, then comes back home. Back with his work
clothes, his bus driver's uniform on.
Then they have to get his suit back on and go back out. But he doesn't bring it home.
No, he doesn't bring it home. So now he's at the Colonnade Room with the same suit on.
The same suit, right.
Bill Davis has got the same suit on.
The same suit on, yeah, exactly.
So basically, that's our observation.
Oh, God. Like, what did he do? Did he stop at... Listen, McGarity, Jealous McGarity, hold the suit. I'll come back and change. Listen, it's a guy that used to want to date Alice. Yeah. I had to pretend that I was the... Could you imagine him trying to explain to somebody why he's got to leave the suit there? Nobody would even understand what he's talking about. Beautiful.
Oh, God, enough with the suit.
Absolutely beautiful. Enough with the suit.
Enough with the suit. So that's the suit. Basically, it turned into the suit. The timeline turned into the suit observation. Because I had tied them in, and that's what happened. They just fell right into one another. There's a lot of, and actually, Joe, in one of the emails from one of our listeners, Bibbs, or one of our good listeners, he also mentioned something about clothing and how this happens in several other
episodes.
Oh,
so we could talk about the suits in other episodes.
Oh God, yeah, you could.
Okay.
You could. Yeah,
we could do that. Yeah. Maybe we can get the grandson of Pat Perkins.
Pat Perkins
to call in.
What was on your grandmother's or grandfather's mind? So anyway, that's the observation.
That is that's a wild observation.
Hope you followed that.
Hope that suits you guys fine.
Yeah.
All right,
little levity to break the tension.
All right, I wanted to. I thought of something the other day, and it's just basically, you know how we talk about what's your favorite episodes, what's your least favorite episodes. We know Louis' favorite episode is Pal of Mine. Mine is like Brother Ralph. You know, and obviously
we love Money. You know, my funny back. And there's that certain 5 to 10 that kind of
almost everybody could agree that are the best episodes.
So Joe, it's probably that bottom third where you don't hear a lot of people counting them into things like, I don't particularly like The Golfer.
Correct.
I like Scenes of The Golfer because one of my favorite flubs of all time is in there.
Yes.
But there's scenes of everything we like. But for the most part, I don't like The Golfer. I don't like, and people can't understand this, I don't like the golfing scene.
Correct.
I just find it annoying and tedious. Same thing with the train scene, with the boomf.
Right.
I find that very tedious. Now, I also appreciate Cramden or I should say Gleason and Carney in their physical humor.
Yes.
It's phenomenal in like that one take scene.
Right.
You got to think about that, right, Joe?
Absolutely.
That one take scene.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But for me, it's really not a favorite of mine.
Correct.
So go ahead. You're on the air.
You're on the air? And you know what? Anybody that wants to give us theirs,
yeah.
either put it on our Facebook page or email us.
Email us, bangzoom1956 at gmail.
Yeah, and you know what? We'll read some.
Yeah, we'll read them. Joe reads them. Joe reads them.
I'm going to give you my 3 most underrated episodes.
Okay, now these are underrated. These aren't least favorite. These are what we think underrated, who don't get enough.
They don't get enough credit.
And
they're not like hated or anything like that. And I don't think there's any of them that are hated.
No.
And it's funny. There's a couple that seem to be that a lot of people are like. They're almost like children. You don't dislike any. You just you pick your favorites, but you still love them all.
Yeah.
You talk to 2 guys that don't have kids.
Yeah, but
I got 3 cats and a dog, so I don't know if they counts. So I have 3 where I feel are 3 of the most underrated. Okay, and one is A Dog's Life.
Yes,
which is with the which we actually
I did. Yeah, we did today.
Yeah,
we did today.
Worrywart.
Yeah,
and A Man's Pride. which we actually were talking about today. Also. And especially Worrywart.
Yeah,
Worrywart, and it's just. All in one. It's all the one scene except going down to Richard Putters. I just find it's great because it's got so many aspects of it, and it just has. It's got his little bit of rant, like A Dog's Life. He's got that great rant where up and down. If you think I'm going to do that, you're nuts.
Yeah.
Like anytime when you have him doing a rant, some great jokes, interaction between him and Carney and Audrey, like. The Worrywart, it's the 3 of them interacting, sitting at a table. And just that is just so great to me. Man's Pride. Think about Man's Pride. Besides the suit and all that kind of stuff. It's great because it shows Gleason at his most vulnerable. And he's vulnerable in every episode.
Well, yeah, he kind of like makes himself vulnerable.
Right.
He puts himself in situations where he makes himself vulnerable.
And think about the scene at Madison Square Garden where he's the Art Carney's the great he's in the driver's seat.
He's in the driver's seat.
He sees loads of people at 9 a.m. Those jokes are so great because they're subtle.
Right.
They're subtle. They're quick. They're not over the top.
Yeah.
It's not an easy fact.
Is that also the one with Troubles' his middle name?
Yes.
That's there too.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of like, Troubles' his middle name. And it's not even like really funny, but it kind of just emphasizes the fact that he is getting himself into
trouble.
Deep stuff. Yes.
Into trouble. And the way Carney delivers that line very softly.
Yep.
Like, Troubles' his middle name.
Yes.
Like, saying, okay, Ralph, you're digging the hole again.
Yes.
And I'm the one that digs. He drives a bus.
Yes. So they're not I'm not going to necessarily say they're my favorites,
right?
But they're underrated. Or at least to me, you don't get a lot. I mean, how many people are quoting from the Worrywart? You don't get a lot of
don't.
it.
You really don't.
You get the horse with the clock in its stomach and the stomach in his clock and that kind of stuff. But it's just so good.
Like one skinny chicken, Yeah, I mean, there's every show has quotable lines.
Has a quotable line.
Every show does.
But
We've all used them.
When you start thinking of great episodes, nobody brings up. And they're not ones that people just automatically just say, Worrywart or Man's Pride.
Right.
But when you think about those, they're so good.
Yeah, even the Worrywart, the kitchen scene. Just the table scene.
Dizzy Dean.
I mean, that's a great
your
line.
spaghetti.
Your spaghetti, Dizzy Dean. I mean, Dizzy Dean. Just the name Dizzy Dean. And you've watched in the physical part of that, when Ralph slams the table.
Just about to
you ready to say that?
Just about to say it. It just seems that he said, "Hey, listen. At some point, I'm gonna slam the table a little bit."
Yeah.
It seems that they were truly startled.
Alice almost falls out of her chair.
Yes. And then Norton pulls out the napkin and wipes his
brow.
But they jump.
Talking about that, Joe, with the napkin wiping his brow, somebody had written on one of the websites, I don't know if it was Raccoon Lodge or Regular Honeymooners, about Art Carney being sick that day with a bad cold.
Yep.
So they said sometimes you can actually see his nose running, and so that's where the sweat part comes from too.
Because you see him.
Yeah.
I noticed. I said, man, he's like sweating.
Yeah.
And you told me somebody said that he was sick.
Yeah, somebody wrote that. Yeah,
he was sick as a dog.
Sick as a dog that day. He did it, and he's wiping his nose and the whole bit during the thing with the.
Yes, when he's filling out the.
When he's filling out the when they're putting down his the deductions and stuff
Correct.
like that. But I believe that table scene with that when he pounds the table,
It's just great. The bowls of food bounce off the table. Like he truly used all of his power. He was a strong guy.
He was a strong guy,
and he was. The one thing about Gleason, he was 40 years old when he made.
Yeah,
that.
40.
He was 40,
Yep. Okay.
39, 40.
Yep.
300-pound guy.
Yeah.
But man, was he nimble.
Oh man,
Like light on his feet,
dance, do all that stuff.
getting up off the ground.
Yep.
Like instantly.
Yep.
You find a 40-year-old guy that's 300 pounds and put him on the floor and tell him to get right up. They ain't getting right up. It's not easy.
So
But
he put that 300 pounds behind that slam on the table. Because like you just said, you do see the dishes pop up.
off
They
the table.
they're actually they're airborne. Oh God.
Yes. So those were mine.
Yeah.
I
agree. I'm gonna agree with you. I don't even have any. I don't have anything to add.
You didn't have to.
No,
Yeah,
I don't. I'm not even gonna add to that.
when I told you, you were like, yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, they are.
Awesome. All right. All right. We are flying through. I got to tell you.
Are we? What are we?
Yeah.
At?
Oh, we're at like 35.
Oh, okay.
It's beautiful. All right, we're gonna
What do we
finish
got
up
left?
the show. You know what we got
Oh,
left.
then
We know what we got left. It's this has become Louis' favorite theme.
It's my favorite thing.
Here we go.
And now, Tom, who is our first guest, please?
Herb.
Our first guest, ready to leap the first hurdle on his way to the $99,000 answer, is
Truck driver from Parsippany, New Jersey, Joe Conte.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're gonna play.
Now it's Louis trivia, but we're doing.
we like we've been doing, Joe. This is like the last 4 to 5 weeks.
I love it. I want to keep doing it until we run out.
Yeah, we've incorporated the names the same into trivia.
Absolutely.
Because it was just a list that we were going to go through. So, let's maybe ask Joe and see if he can, put them together.
Absolutely.
And it turned into trivia, which is a good trivia. Now, I got to admit, we are running out of them. Yeah. I have a lot, but we're running out of the real popular ones, like the fours, their names that we use 4 times.
Yeah, like Harveys. And,
the Harveys
right.
and stuff like that. And
but we can always go back to one of your 8,000 questions.
We could do that
from your book that you haven't written yet, but you have all of your questions.
Where's the other list?
The other list.
Famous people mentioned
I think
in the show.
66
on this list.
Unbelievable. You would think that there were 5 seasons.
Yeah, really.
You would think there were 5 seasons.
In 39 episodes, I've written down, I got 66 names on this list.
Yeah.
Famous
Think
people.
about how they use in pop. Well, I'm not saying pop culture, but they would, to use those, not just. Because it was such a personal show.
Yeah.
It was all about characters.
Yeah.
But then they could throw in, all of the different things, whether it was Julius Caesar or, Clark Gable.
Yeah, historic figures. And at the time,
Pop culture.
we forget, it's also, pop culture, we would call it contemporary figure.
Yep.
Not contemporary to us, they're historic, but
Right.
remember, 55, 56, these people are in the news. Like when they use Anthony Eden, we're like, who the hell's Anthony Eden? He's historic, but this
When
is...
I looked up Anthony Eden, I howled. I laughed at the joke.
The joke, yeah.
Like I didn't understand the joke.
Yeah.
But then when I looked him up, I'm like, that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
And they all knew who that was when they were watching it.
Okay, Joe.
All right,
I may give you a couple today.
Okay.
We have 2.
Okay.
Ed.
Obviously, I mean,
Okay,
Ed Norton,
that's
all right.
one. Okay, that's one. What's the second one?
Is there just 2?
There's just 2.
Oh, I know it. It's Eddie.
Yes. Keep on going.
Man, it's Eddie. Eddie. Oh my goodness, I can't think of it. Where? Can you give me a hint? Or at least
bowling tournament.
It's got to be the one who's like his wife or his grandmother. I can't think of. I don't. What is it?
Eddie Malloy.
Eddie Malloy.
Eddie Malloy's wife to be.
Right. And the wedding might not go off.
Might go off.
Right,
He's
because
a shellacking.
Because
you said
she's a
a
shallow human being. Right. She's going to divorce. She's not going to marry him because they lost a bowling tournament.
Okay, let me give you another one.
Okay,
Mary.
Mary.
It's two.
Wow, Mary. Oh, the Queen Mary? Is that one of them?
No.
Mary.
That's a historical thing.
Yeah.
This is a character.
This is a character. Mary.
I thought it was a good one. I didn't think
there it is, the Queen Mary. Wow. Can you tell me what episode the one is?
Ralph Cramden Inc.
Yes. Okay. It's the maid, Mary Flanagan.
No, close.
Mary.
It's Irish. Okay.
Yeah. I went with Flanagan.
Yeah.
Just to, Mary. What's her last name?
O'Donnell.
Okay, Mary O'Donnell.
And the lady who died.
Oh, Mary Monahan.
There you go.
Both of them in the one episode.
Remember we were talking about
that's
you
right.
named two people in one episode, the same first name.
Yeah. The
You
woman
call
was
one like
Mary.
Margaret.
She had to hire a Mary too. That was good because for a second I'm like, wait a minute, two Marys,
and they're both in
one was and one was seen.
Yes,
one
that's right.
was an
One
actual one that
right
was
there,
seen.
right there. Some people are never satisfied.
What a great
So
joke.
that's good. So we're good. So that's the name's the same.
That was great.
Another diminishing list.
That was awesome.
But we have several other lists.
All right. Awesome. Well, listen, that's number 51. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. 51 in the books. And all right. Oh, wait a minute. We got some people we got to thank here.
Oh, yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
All right. Who are we thanking here first? First of all, we're thanking Silk City Hot Sauce. All right. Don't forget. Go there. Go to Silk City Hot Sauce. Put RX in the coupon code. Get yourself 15% off and a free bottle of cherry sriracha.
Make a good Christmas present.
Actually, yeah, that's a great idea.
Just contact him. Send it to somebody. He's got nice little sets, 3-packs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Please. And if you want to leave us a voicemail, if you want to call the show and you wanted to leave a voicemail for either us or for something that we could play on the show, the number is 240-442-2635. It's the voicemail for my other show also, so I'm the only one that listens to them, and then we'll be able to play it on the show. And the email.
Oh, bangzoom1956@gmail.com, and we've been getting emails.
Tons of
same
emails.
Guys, but
same
that's
lunatics,
okay.
Yeah, same maniacs.
It's okay.
Yep.
I answered them.
Absolutely.
I forward them on
and
to
then you
Joe.
Forward to me,
so Joe, he can
it's
get
great.
in on them.
It's nice to be
good.
in contact with all these guys.
Yeah, and we appreciate the emails.
Absolutely.
I like them. They're funny. They a lot of good ideas.
Insight. Yeah,
a lot of
we've gotten some bits for the show.
Yeah,
from these guys.
Yeah, we did.
Absolutely. Who else can we thank? The great Facebook group called the Honeymooners Raccooners.
Yes.
With moderators Joy and Brother Norton. Thank you so much. You guys are great. And Brother Norton has his own weekly podcast called the Honeymooners Thursday Trivia Podcast. Check that out. And I have my other show called the Conti and Kenny Show, which is on every Monday night on More Like Radio. And if you want to get my 1-hour comedy CD, you can download it anywhere that you would get your music from or whatever. And it's called Joe Conti Happiness. Yeah. And I think that's it.
Should be a jump to wrap.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Night all.
Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.
We'll have to do this again real soon.
How about tomorrow night?
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.